Good morning everyone and welcome to this week's assembly. I'm Mrs. Latimer, I'm Head of Languages, and today we are looking at where can languages at the Anglo take you. As you know, at Anglo our language provision is very broad. You may be doing French or German or Spanish. You may be on the MEP route. You may have chosen a phase 2 language, Russian, Japanese or Italian, or you may be doing Arabic. But also you've got all of your mother tongue languages that will also play an important role in your future. So today we're going to look at some stories from ex-Anglo students to see where languages have taken them, and some of the staff might want to see if they can remember some of the faces that are appearing today. We're going to start off with an easy one that you all know. So here is a younger me outside Wesimont. So Wesimont was the equivalent of Eblingham back in my day. So year 7s all went to Wesimont for 10 days. Here I am visiting it again when I was living in Brussels, and my room is the on the far right, the second big window up. And this was the start really of my love of languages. It was the first time I was traveling abroad without my parents, and it opened my eyes to the future that I could live in the future, exploring all of these new countries and languages. So as a little year 7 arriving at Anglo, I was like many of you that don't have any language skills before you get here. I had to learn all my foreign languages from scratch. We all did French and German in year 7, and I didn't actually get to do Spanish until year 9 at lunchtime, and those of you that know me know that I'm a Spanish teacher. I loved the exchanges, and I know lots of you are like us, excitedly waiting for when we can offer these exchanges again. I went to Dinan, I went to Reims on a long-term exchange. I went to Spain for the first time in year 9, and I'm still in touch with my exchange partner. I went to the south of France with Mr. Bars on a geography field trip. I did my work experience at the Tower of London, was able to use my languages there through the tourist industry. But a particular highlight in my Anglo journey was the trip to Argentina that I did in sixth form. This was a month-long trip, and we trekked and we volunteered and we met the locals. We did whitewater rafting, and this really opened my eyes to Spanish, but in a totally new way. And my classes know that I often talk about my adventures in South America and all the interesting things I've learned through that experience. I then went on to do IB Higher French and Spanish, and then a degree in Spanish and French as well. As many of you all know, a language degree does involve a year abroad, and I absolutely loved my year abroad. I spent part of it in Brussels studying translation and interpreting, and then I was teaching in a school in Madrid. As well as this, I worked in Malta, which is bilingual. It speaks Maltese and English. I've got family connections to the country, but I went and worked in a dive centre and used my language skills there with the customers. I also taught English at a summer school in Canterbury, and therefore my language experience was able to come in handy when teaching other students. You all then know the next stage in my languages journey, I returned to the Anglo for my teacher training, and then continued my career at the school. Since being at the Anglo, I've been able to travel again, back to Reims, back to Spain, and also continuing to develop my languages through teaching you and sharing my knowledge and working with other language teachers and other teachers in the school that have a wealth of international knowledge and understanding. Something that languages definitely do as a skill and as a subject is go beyond your career or beyond school and into your personal life. For me, languages and travel are two things that really make up a big part of my life. I've been to Germany a few times and used my rusty German GCSE. I've travelled to South America, and the fact that I was able to travel so much when I was a student gave me the confidence to fly over to Peru on my own and explore. And now I'm passing on this love of languages and travel to my little boy to open his eyes to the world that is in front of him. So now on to some other students. Here we have Kat, and this is what she says. I studied French, German and Spanish during my time there at the Anglo and carried on Spanish as part of my degree at the University of Sheffield. I am now 6 years into my career as a technical business consultant within the RPA industry. I am so grateful for the opportunities that studying languages has brought me. As part of my degree, I spent a year living in Madrid, which hugely increased my confidence levels and independence. It also spurred on my love of travel, which was a huge factor in my choice of job. I have been able to travel worldwide with my job as a consultant, including spending 3 weeks in Mexico, where my Spanish skills meant I was a key choice to work on the project. As well as pure language abilities, studying languages has also improved my communication and people skills, which has helped me to excel throughout my career. Here we have Nick to tell you about how languages have helped him.
I finished university in 2012 and have since been working as a ski instructor in the Austrian Alps. Speaking German has not only enabled me to find a job, but also helped me to integrate into the community. I now also spend a few months of the year in Sweden. The language skills learnt at the Anglo also made it much easier for me to pick up the Swedish language.
Here we have Yeti, and this is what she says. Anglo gave me an exposure to different languages and an appreciation of their cultures. After becoming a barrister, I worked overseas and have since worked for an international charity. I am currently managing research projects for a health institute in the UK. The spark of excitement for languages and cultures has led me to discover Korean, and I've started a YouTube channel to explore Korean entertainment, culture and food. The best part of the channel is that it's connected with people across over 50 countries. Anglo gives you the global mindset needed to operate in an interdependent global ecosystem. Now we have Lucy to tell you about where languages have taken her.
Hi there, my name's Lucy. I was at Anglo from 2004 to 2011 and I studied German and Spanish up until the IB level. And then I went on to University of Sheffield and I continued studying German and Spanish, and I had the opportunity to start a new language from scratch as well, so I chose Portuguese. I'm so glad I studied languages at school and kept them going, because they open some really great opportunities in your terms of your career and also your personal life. Before university, I was really interested in learning more about other Spanish-speaking countries, so I travelled to South America for a few months, and I also taught English in Chile during my year abroad at university, and I had the opportunity to go to a university in Portugal as well. And these were all really great opportunities, and I couldn't have done them without my languages. In terms of my career, I went into being an executive assistant for a property company, and the reason I got the job was because of my German, because they were looking for someone to support the German team in Berlin and in Munich. And sometimes I use my Spanish and my French skills that from GCSE within the rest of the team, which was really great. It was really great to be using my languages during my working day. Learning languages also can, open up the opportunity to travel as well with work. Later on this year, I'm hoping to go to the south of Spain to work for an events company, and they're looking for someone that speaks Spanish and English. So it's going to be really great because I can use my languages skills, but also my transferable skills, like organising and planning and communication. So it's going to be really great, and I'm so thankful for my languages for this. So what I'd say is keep your languages going, because you just don't know what great opportunities they can open up in the future for you.
Here we have Jasmine, and this is what she says. Languages were at the centre of my academic life, and I couldn't wait to continue into a career in Spanish or French. But life often surprises you, and I now find myself in the world of advertising, managing a team of people who excel at art, design and top-notch writing. Whilst languages don't feature in my everyday work in life, they doubtless helped me to get to where I am today, in no small part because of the experiences they allowed me to have. Studying and working in Chile and Spain made me confident in all sorts of crazy situations, which has helped me deal with film shoots in Madagascar and photography shoots in a Mozambican typhoon. When I was at Anglo, I didn't really know what career I wanted to pursue. You might feel the same, but one thing I'm sure of is that languages opened up experiences that prepared me for a massively exciting role in a creative industry. You just never know what languages might open up for you. Finally, we have Sam to tell us his story.
Buenas tardes. I'm Sam. I studied at Anglo from 1999 to 2006, where the languages I studied were German, French and Russian. I finished school and really enjoyed German, so I took German history at university. Went to Nottingham, spent 4 years in Nottingham, a year of which I spent in Stuttgart working for a company there. Got to experience life, both working but also experiencing German culture and really improving my language, having to work and get to know people in German. I really enjoyed that. Came back to Nottingham to finish my degree. At that point, I wasn't quite sure what to do next. I'd always had an interest in law, so I took a law conversion course, the GDL, and studied that for a year and got a job working for a law firm in London. Started training there and trained to be a solicitor, and I got the opportunity to spend 6 months working in one of the offices in Europe. There were various options, including Germany. I wasn't sure, didn't want to go back there, having spent some time in Stuttgart, and took the opportunity to go somewhere new. So I came to Madrid. Spent 6 months in Madrid, living in the centre of Madrid, working a bit in Spanish, working a bit in English. Most importantly, learning Spanish. I hadn't spoken any Spanish, hadn't learned Spanish before that time, but had a few lessons before I came, and then got to talk to people in the office and around and about, and really improved my Spanish. I think at least people started to understand me a bit after 6 months. I had to come back to London for another year, and then I got the opportunity to come back to Madrid. I'd really enjoyed it, so I pretended to think about it for a couple of days and said yes. I came back to live in Madrid for originally 3 years. 5 years later, or 5.5 years later, here I am, still here, working as a solicitor here in Madrid in our English office, working and living in a mixture of English and Spanish, and occasionally German when I'm working with offices in Germany. But it's a great opportunity, learning languages, albeit not having studied Spanish at school, but really gave me the opportunity to gain some really important life experiences and really further my career. So now here I am in Spain, speaking Spanish, but also really enjoying opportunities that learning languages have given me.
Hopefully today's assembly has got you thinking, where will your Anglo languages take you? Have a lovely day, everyone.